Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today, guys, several things to say. We will touch a lot about Barcelona, many questions about Barcelona, and so I will tell you on several things and also what's happening with one more case. Let's jump into it together. Here we are, guys. Always time for transfer news, always time for all the latest, and of course it's time always to deliver you all the transfer news. Today I wanted to focus a lot on Barcelona because they are La Liga champions, because we're talking a lot about specific clubs in the recent days, on specific situations, but for sure Barcelona will be busy this summer. They celebrated La Liga, they won La Liga, and so now it's going to be time to focus on the future. I told you in a video yesterday, Hansi Flick new contract is done and sealed. 2028, one more season is option, potential 2029. Pini Zahavi, the agent of the player, was in Barcelona to complete everything, and so soon will be announced Hansi Flick signing his new contract at Barcelona. A really, really important news for Barça, because obviously to do that so early also helps to coordinate Hansi Flick, Deco, Laporta, all the people at the club to find the best solutions possible. Two positions are to follow for sure for Barcelona this summer, apart from everything we're going to say in the rest of the video. For left backs, Barcelona are still looking at the market because Barcelona are keeping close eye to left backs around Europe, and so the left back position is still a point. And then for Barcelona, don't forget also the winger situation. Because despite the reports on Anthony Gordon, I'm told that story is not going to develop, but also whatever happens with the meetings with agents and these sort of things, the reality is that Barcelona have different kind of targets, and also Anthony Gordon is going to be crazy expensive for Barca eventually, so this is not the kind of signing Barcelona are looking for. And don't forget, Bayern and Premier League clubs on Anthony Gordon, Barca are also looking at alternative options for the winger position. So those two positions, winger and left back, should not be underestimated when we talk about Barcelona plans on the summer transfer window. When we talk about Barcelona plans and when we talk about Pini Zahavi, the agent of Hansi Flick, don't forget that Pini Zahavi is also the representative, the agent of Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski, who in the last 24-48 hours, when he was mentioning the future, he was not clarifying anything in public. What I can tell you is that internally at Barcelona, the feeling is that Robert Lewandowski could really leave the club in the summer transfer window. It's a serious possibility. Then, as I told you, the idea at Barcelona was to do a short-term contract, one season on very reduced salary compared to the current salary. Lewandowski is still on the same salary he got from Barcelona when he joined from Bayern, so you can imagine it's a huge salary. Barcelona wanted to reduce that a lot. At the moment, the focus of Robert Lewandowski is on considering all the proposals. There is something from the MLS, there is something from Saudi, so these two countries, the United States and Saudi Arabia, could be potential destinations for Robert Lewandowski, but at the moment the feeling on Lewandowski is that with Barcelona, they are quite far in the discussion and in negotiation. Then, if something changes, I will let you know, because it's still an open story. Italian clubs, they had meetings with the agent of the player. Last week, he met with AC Milan, he met with Juventus, but at the moment, for Italian clubs, Lewandowski is considered too expensive in terms of salary, and so that deal is not advancing. Let's see what happens, again, with Saudi and MLS clubs. Let's see if maybe with Barcelona something changes, but at the moment is considered unlikely. The possibility of Robert Lewandowski staying at the club next season. Then, when we talk about Barcelona strikers, of course, guys, the question is always about Julián Álvarez. What's going to happen with Julián Álvarez now in the last 24 hours is about Paris Saint-Germain. Remember what I told you on Julián Álvarez in November, in December, and a few months ago. All doors are open for his future. Nothing is closed. Nothing at all. And it's Julián who's going to decide what he wants to do. Paris Saint-Germain already wanted Julián Álvarez before he went to Atlético Madrid, and Paris Saint-Germain still love Julián Álvarez for sure. There are also Premier League clubs interested in Julián Álvarez. And then there is Barcelona, but Barca know that it's going to be eventually very expensive and very complicated signing. So it's also going to be on the player to take a position very soon about his future, but PSG are interested, Premier League top clubs are still following the situation, And then there is this Barcelona dream to go for Julián, but at the moment considered, once again, very, very expensive and complicated. So that's the situation around Julián. But don't forget what I told you, all doors are open. And it's the player who has to decide what he wants to do, is the player who has everything in his hands. And despite reports on signing a new contract at Atlético Madrid, at the moment, this new contract between Julián and Atleti is not something close or concrete yet. So let's see what's going to happen there. Let's see what Atletico decide. Atletico have new owners, very powerful, very strong, financially strong, and so Atleti can control the negotiation, the price, but the first step has to be what Julián wants to do. Then, for those who ask me, João Pedro could be the next signing for Barcelona. Guys, I maintain what I told you 2 weeks ago. The appreciation from Deco for João Pedro is already there since he was at Brighton. Barcelona really like João Pedro. They consider him as a fantastic striker, but Chelsea are absolutely considering João Pedro as a crucial part of the project. After a tough season, a difficult season, to sell probably the only player who performed in a top way like João Pedro, apart from 2-3 more, well, that would be complicated. So at the moment, also the João Pedro story is considered as really, really complicated. Then, again, guys, I always tell you, it's still May, it's still early. If something changes, I will be here to keep you posted. But the appreciation from Barça is for sure confirmed. But let me say, who doesn't like João Pedro? This is a fantastic striker, but also really complicated with Chelsea. So this is the story around João. We have to keep his name as appreciated for Barça. But at the moment, Chelsea maintain their position. And then there is Marcus Rashford, guys. Marcus Rashford went public, finally saying, I want to stay at Barcelona. My desire would be to stay at Barcelona. He said, I'm not a magician, but if I was, my desire would be to stay at Barça. So the message from the player has arrived, clear, strong. He would like to continue at Barcelona, and I always told you this. He would like to continue at Barça. He's very happy at Barça, as a club, as a city, the teammates, the coach. The connection is very good. Now depends on Barça and Manchester United. The two clubs are discussing, but still no agreement. Man United insist, 30 million euros, the full buy option clause. Barcelona want to renegotiate one more season loan, maybe include an option or obligation to buy this time, different conditions. So Barcelona want to be creative and restructure the deal. Man United want the money. At the moment, this is the stage of the situation. But don't forget that Marcus Rashford went public and said that he wants to stay at Barça. Hansi Flick is very happy with Rashford, from what I understand, not just with the performances, also with the fact that Rashford never created any problem. When he was benched, he never created any sort of problem, always very supportive. So now, depends on the clubs. And so guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories, as always, about Lewandowski, Julián Álvarez, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Gordon, Hansi Flick, several things about Barcelona. Your opinion, guys, here. As always, like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Ciao.